Good evening, everybody. It's Jim. I just missed making the Friday count for this video, but we're going to call this good enough. 6 minutes is good enough. So this is the video for Friday, the 11th day of the writing challenge, and I'd say of all the days I've done so far, this was probably the hardest one. I got a little bit of a late start tonight on the writing sprints, and the last one was actually a little bit of a struggle to start, but once I got started, I got it done. So just go to the sprints real quick, and then we'll talk about the book in progress. So sprints, three sprints done today, 30 minutes each, of course. Word counts all within range, maybe a little short on a couple of them, but brought in another 4,000 words today. Pretty much a little below the average, but just rolling right along here. We are just under halfway through the book. I thought I'd be able to break 45,000 tonight, but I'm 372 words short, so we'll get it tomorrow, not to worry. So there's the stats, 16 hours of total writing time, huge amounts of words per hour, 4,000 a day. We're still way over average, doing great. Tempted to think about taking a day off and just updating all the chapters that are still in progress and cleaning up some things a little bit, but really I just want to keep laying words down. So I think we'll do the housekeeping over the weekend. Maybe not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. Either that or I'll just do it on the back end, since I'm looking at probably being done with this draft in 11 days, which would make it the 22nd, which means I'd still have 9 days to do all the editing and fixing, and that's a lot of time to devote to editing. So great day sprint wise, even though I felt like I was really struggling to get that last one done, but the important thing is I showed up, I did it, got it done. 4,000 words for the day, 44 for the challenge so far. We'll just add some little commas there. There we go. And then I wanted to show you the book in progress. And you can see I've added a whole lot of chapters to the outline here. So we'll just take a quick look at the corkboard. Of course, these first 19 chapters are all in varying stages of completion, and I need to add summary text to the cards about what happened in each scene. Just haven't gotten there yet. So tonight we focused on Malcolm, one of the secondary characters. Well, not secondary, but he's kind of becoming the second main character in this. Although he's not going to have as much screen time as Rachel, because Rachel's the most important character right now, and she's really the focus of the book. And but I'm setting things up with Malcolm to make him more important as over the course of the series. And so scenes and some decent stage time. So focused on 3 of his scenes tonight, which I just labeled M1, M2, and M3. And over the course of writing those scenes, I realized that they really have to happen later in the book. So if you kind of look at the outline from Libby Hawker's Take Off Your Pants, what this is this is really Rachel's growth story right here. This is effectively the outline for one main character, right? All these things happening to one main character. And what I didn't get around to doing, and this is on me for the lack of preparation that I talked about in some other videos, is that technically, if you're really outlining the whole story or the whole book, you want to do an outline like this for every main character. So if your book has 3 point of view characters, you're going to want to do something like this for all 3 of them, and then kind of interleave the chapters together so that you're carrying each character's story forward at a pace that's about even for the story. So I haven't done that with Malcolm because I don't want him to take as much time as Rachel, but I still want it to be an important focus. So I at this point, now that I'm almost halfway through the book, I probably will not go back and make an outline for him. I'll probably do it for book 2 and book 3 just to keep it, to keep honing my process. But for now, for the purposes of book 1, it's building as I'm going. So I can see that, right now there's a lot of stuff happening with Rachel in this chunk of storyline. So I'll probably want to put at least 1 or 2 Malcolm chapters in there somewhere. Not these in particular, but a couple more just to carry his story forward. And I also need to add in, this is the Weaver, who's the main antagonist. I need to add something for him in there too, just to remind readers that he exists before we get to the big battle at the end of the book. So tonight focused on Malcolm, got 3 good chapters in. They'll need a little bit of refining, and I need to clean up the typos, which I haven't done yet. Normally I do that before I finalize them, but you can see like chapter 2, I need to highlight. That's a note to myself as I'm writing, and you can see there's just a few typos in here, the underlines. Most of the text is nice and clean. Like I said, this is just a raw dump off my Neo into Scrivener. You can see just the little typos that I've got to fix, and Scrivener makes it easy, the Mac version anyway. You right click and you pick the most likely word that pops up, and for the most part it's just the first one that pops up. I don't remember the PC version being able to do this. It might have been able to, I just don't remember. But just do a couple here, and I won't bore you with it. But so worked on some Malcolm chapters. You can see that the outline is growing. I went ahead, so this is 40 chapters, right? 10, 15, 20, that's 25, 30, 35, 40. So I was estimating 60 chapters for the book. That's 40, so there's 50. I probably need to add another 10 chapters. In fact, I can do that right now. So if we select all of those, so what I did was I clicked on one, I hit Shift, selected those, right click, duplicate, and boom, we've got another 10 chapters. So there's 20, 30, 40, 50. That's my 60 chapters right there. And you can look over here, book 1. There's a huge list of chapters. So, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to break these up into acts or not. Probably not. I think it's just going to be steady flow from chapter 1 to chapter X, whatever the end chapter is. But you can see that now what I've got is here's the flow of the story. Here's more of the story. More of the story. This is where the story starts to come to an end. And these chapters right in here, and here, these are all coming to the end. And so now what I need to do is make sure I have enough subplots going on that I started in the first chunk of the book and carrying through to the middle part of the book. I need to make sure that all that stuff gets touched on and addressed, and that's where all these different scenes are going to come into play. I have to do my math and make sure that Rachel's got enough scenes, Malcolm has enough scenes, and then I cover the Weaver in a couple of places. So if you look at this outline, or this is the outline mode, not the corkboard mode. This is where I could start doing some counting and start figuring out, okay, what chapters go where. And the other thing I'm thinking is that some of these chapters might get combined. Like if you look at these two M chapters, they kind of continue on one after another, and I may let go of the idea that all the chapters need to be under 1,500. Combining these two together might work a little bit better just for story purposes. I'll have to look at that in the revision pass that I do. So that's about it for tonight. Again, just the outline over here in the binder, of course, and the outline. Where's the book? This outline, and then the corkboard is an evolving live document, basically, just making incremental changes as I go and as I get more familiar with the story, and as I write scenes, I see what needs to happen and what pieces are missing, and just this is a manuscript in progress, and I hope it's interesting to see how it's growing and changing. I know it's probably hard because you can't actually read the text and you don't maybe have a really good grip on what the actual story is, but that's okay, because ideally, maybe you'll want to be a beta reader, or maybe a reader once it's out. So anyway, that's it for Friday. That's it for day 11. It's in the books. It's done. Call it call it a success, and I'm going to call it there. And have a great night, have a great weekend, and happy writing.